Welcome back to the Nightwalker progression series. So it's been a little while since I uploaded one of these, and I want to catch up to where I currently am in my progression. So this episode is going to catch up all the way to where I am. So there's going to be a lot going on in this episode, and it's going to be probably a longer one for sure because of that. This is also going to be a 7-month progression review. So we're going to see where I'm currently at after 7 months, everything like my Hexa, all my equips, everything like that, my CP. All right, I hope you enjoy. Let's get into the video. First, we did get Soul Janus to level 10, and I wanted to record that because I was proud of it. So we got Janus level 10. It was also the accessory miracle time. This was back in summer, so I got a bunch of accessories to legendary. I was soloing Lotus at this point, and I actually got a black heart, and at this time I had no idea what a black heart was. I didn't even know if it was a part of the pitch boss set, but this is technically the first pitch that I have gotten. It was a temporary one, but I did put it on right away because I just knew nothing about it. I also did do my first Damien solo, and I started soloing Damien weekly. It is an accomplishment nonetheless, and I am working my way up these bosses, so I'm proud of that. At the time I had beginner Meso drop gear, so that's 100% Meso, 80% drop. I upgraded my Meso drop gear to have max Meso drop gear. I also put it on better equips, so I used Estella's, I used Twilight Mark, I used Guardian Slime Ring, and I got 200 drop and 100 Meso. I did also finally get my weapon. I got the 4 armors in the span of like 1 to 2 weeks, and then it took me a month to get a weapon drop. I didn't want to buy it, so I just waited to get a weapon. I did also pot and flame the weapon. The pot that I got was 2-line attack and then 1-line all stat, and I've kept that pot ever since. I still have that pot right now, and I'm just gonna wait because I'm gonna lib. And then as far as the flame goes, I got double tier 6, I believe, so tier 6 attack and tier 6 boss, which was really good, and obviously I didn't swap that out for anything. I've kept that until now as well. I did do my first BM run also. I didn't record it because I was focused. I just wanted to make sure that I survived. I did blue dot. I was around 42 mil CP at this point, but yeah, we did do our first BM run and we started the lib process. My lib should be in March, so you'll probably see that in a later on video. But yeah, we did start the lib process, which is great, and we did a bunch of the lib solo missions. At this point, I didn't put them in the video because it's the same thing as soloing the boss for the most part. On the same day as BM, I was like, you know what? I want to try to get 22s. So I had 21 CRAs, and I was like, we're going to tap these. I did get a 22 hat, and I got a 22 bottom. My top did boom, unfortunately, but it's all good. 2 22s out of 3 is not too bad for me. I'm happy with that. I also haven't really mentioned level yet. I was 270 at the start. I am 275 now. I did my first Lucid solo. My CP is probably around like 48 to 50 mil. I think it was 49 mil on the dot. But I did do my first Lucid solo. And at the time I was doing trio wills instead of 6-mans just because I was stronger. And I actually won my blink and a book drop. So I got my book really early on before I ever even soloed it, which was really nice. That was my first permanent pitched. My black heart was the first pitched, but book was the first permanent pitched. So the same day I got the will book, I did my second Lucid solo, and I actually got a dreamy belt, and I did record it. There's been a couple times in this game where I've had like a really strong feeling something was going to happen, and this was one of them. I don't know why, when I got the will book, I knew I was going to get the belt, so I recorded this. I don't normally record all of the openings of these like loot things from the bosses, but this one I did record, and I got my second and third pitch technically in the same day, which is really crazy, honestly, and I was really happy about that. So this was a 5 10 15. I had around 36 bills saved at the time, and I wanted to get a bunch of 21s, which is what we do. I got a pat mark to 16 so I could transfer it into Sweetwater Monocle. I also had recently got the arcane weapon, so I got that to 17 on this event as well. I did wait probably 2 weeks for this event to happen. I could have done it off event, but I just waited. I also got my CRA top back to 21. It boomed when I tried to go 22 before it, so I got that 21. I got a sup belt to 21. I got a KT to 21. I also got a Meister to 21 so I could transfer it to the sup ring, and then I tapped the sup ring from 20 to 21. I also had gotten my first slime ring. I think it was probably from a carry from somebody in my guild, but I got that to 17 as well. I did get 2 DOMs to 21, so I got 1 DOM to 21 so I could keep it and equip it, and then the second DOM was for the sup pendant transfer, so I got the DOM to 21. I tapped the sup pendant from 20 to 21, and then I left it there. I'm pretty sure I got all of my Gollux equips to 21 on this event, and just a lot of things in general. This is basically like a 21 day for me. My gain from this 5 10 15, I started at 45 mil and then I ended at 61 mil, so it's not too bad. It's pretty good. I got a lot of 21s off of it. I did my Sweetwater and Pat Mark transpose. I got it on the second day. I didn't record that. I only recorded the first day because this was still 5, 10, 15. So now I was ready to upgrade from Black Bean Mark to Sweetwater. I was just waiting for the next big event so I could tap it to 22, so it could just be better than the Black Bean by far. And the next event that I think was a big one was the Shining that just happened in November. So if you want to see my Shining gains video and you haven't already, that is also linked in the description and just on my YouTube channel in general. It was a crazy one, honestly. I doubled my CP, but yeah, we did the Sweetwater transpose and now we got Sweetwater monocle. I did also hit 275, which I was happy about that. I did get one of the middle tier ring boxes and I actually got a Roar 4. So I was a Roar 4 player now, which was very happy. That was like a very big upgrade that I didn't really realize as much at the time. I was definitely happy, but I didn't know how much better it actually was because I was using Roar 3. So we're a Roar 4 gamer now. So I did H-Saren for the first time, and when it came to C10, I was kind of scared to do the bosses, so I delayed doing them because I didn't know the mechanics and I didn't know if I was strong enough. I did the opposite once it started being H-Saren bosses and higher, so like H-Saren, Kalos, Culling, even BM. I did them as fast as possible, like right when I could do them, and I didn't ever watch any videos on them for the most part. The main reason I chose to do it as well is because I have always prioritized progression over everything, so I want to progress as fast as possible, which means I need to start doing the bosses as fast as possible. So if I'm scared to do it and delay it, that's just going to delay my progression. So I jumped in, I didn't watch any videos, I just like learned the mechanics while I was doing it, and then after the first one I'll probably watch a video just so I can better understand what I'm doing. Even if like I red dotted, it didn't matter to me. I did blue dot in this one, but like even if I red dotted, I didn't care. I just wanted to get the first run done and like actually doing the boss so I can just get in the habit of just doing the boss right away. Okay, I'm also doing Kalos for the first time. I have seen basically nothing on this boss, but I hadn't really seen P2 Saren and it was pretty simple. So as you can hear there, I didn't watch a video on this boss at all. Like I literally had seen 0 on this boss and I went into it. The people in the party were explaining to me how to do the test and everything before we started running it. And the thing about it is the boss is always easier than you think it is, at least when it comes to my mind. So like every single boss when I first started, or like before I started, when I was scared to try doing it, I thought it was going to be like this extremely hard thing to do, and then I hopped into Kalos and it was like extremely easy. I did it first try and I was like, oh okay. And then so it makes you do it with more bosses because you realize they're always easier than you think. Like I did calling and it was way easier than I thought it would be. Same thing with Kalos. Saren is actually, I would say Saren's actually difficult. I thought they were the like end game bosses, right? These versions of them aren't end game. Obviously easy isn't, but thought since they were like the last bosses we're doing, they're going to be really difficult. Turns out they were not. With all that, I would say just go into new bosses as early as possible. It's better to just learn by doing, even if you red dot or if you fail out of it. It's better. You got more experience. You learned more of how to handle the mechanics. So I would just go into every boss as early as you possibly can if you care about progression a lot like I do. It opens some mystical familiar cards. I got a 3% attack, which I'm not complaining about. It's a usable thing. It takes up a slot even in my familiar slots right now, so I'm happy with that. I did e-calling as well. Same thing. I cleared this as early as I possibly could once my Maple Scouter said min clear, I just joined parties until I got accepted into one. I got accepted into one in the recruit tab is what I did. I didn't like find perm parties just because I wanted to see if I could do it once in like actually blue dot. I didn't do calling or Kalos with my guild. So the people in the party were actually just explaining to me what I needed to do beforehand for the mechanics of this boss, which I know not everyone's going to have people that are like nice enough, one, to accept you when you're really low CP, and two, explain everything to you. So that was very nice of these people. This was a mega juiced party compared to my CP. I think I was like 68 mil CP with FAMs off, and I was 75 mil CP with FAMs on. This party was extremely juiced, and I didn't blue dot because of it. I red dotted in this, but I still went through the entire boss and didn't die, and like experienced all the mechanics and learned a lot. So I was happy about it. And either way, I wouldn't have ran calling this week anyway, so joining, even if I red dotted, was completely fine. I was fine with that. So I got the experience out of doing it. And this party was pretty, they were just really strong, so I didn't expect to blue dot anyways, honestly. Either way, I was just happy with finishing it. I did also solo C10 for the first time, so I did Gloom, Darknell, Vihilla, obviously. Looking back on this, I feel like I probably would have liked to have started soloing at least Gloom earlier, maybe not Vihilla, Darknell, just because they're more annoying than Gloom, but probably Gloom at like 40 mil CP. I was at I think 75 mil with fams on at this point, same as the e-calling run. But yeah, I wish I did Gloom a little bit earlier, probably like 20 to 25 mil CP earlier if it was possible, which I believe it is. And Darknail and Vihila I also did start soloing as well, which I'm happy about those, especially when it comes to pitch. I try to solo them as early as possible. So we got all 3 of them done, and then we've been doing it ever since. So this is the second e-calling run I've ever done. And this time I actually did create a party. Like I made a perm party for this because I knew I could do it based off the first run. It's just the people were extremely strong, so I didn't blue dot. And I was fighting for my life for this blue dot in this party, but I did manage to do it. So I was happy about that. So we just started doing e-calling every week since then with this party blue dotting. Eventually green dotting, but fighting for my life in this party to blue dot. I did continue obviously to solo Vihila. I think it was probably like a month in. I got my 4th pitched that is wearable. I've gotten a couple books that obviously I don't really need, but I got a source, and this was actually crazy. I got an arcane armor box, a daybreak, and a source, which was pretty fire. I definitely need those daybreaks. And now that I have the source, I'm looking to do the source transfer, which I prepared for, and I do it on the Shining. Okay, so again, if you want to see my Shining video, that'll be linked down below. It's also just on my channel. It's one of the more recent videos. I did also get a daybreak. I didn't record opening the Damien box, but I got a daybreak as well, so that also gets tapped on the Shining. I did get Janus 20 also, as in the beginning you saw I got Janus 10, but I got Janus 20. This is also what the rest of my Hexa looks like currently. Janus 20 we're happy about. You get an extra ball. Not that I used the ball, but also the EXP was the main reason I did it. M280, I'm about to hit 281 here, which is pretty fire. I'm happy about that. These levels are starting to take a long time. I also haven't really gone over levels since I hit 275. It was Night Troop, so I was leveling a lot very quickly. From Night Troop, I went from 275 to 281. I did do WAP a lot. But yeah, we got a decent amount of level gains from that. We're trying to get to 285 now. But yeah, we just hit 281, which I'm happy about. I actually completely finished my inner abilities on both presets, which is pretty fire. I got my max boss damage, max abnormal, max buff duration. I had think like 2 chaos circulators, and I got it. I had like a couple percentages off for each one, but I had the right lines already, and the Meso one was already done, so we didn't have to touch that. But yeah, my bossing and Meso presets are both completely done. I'm working on my 3rd one. We've been getting these free black flames from this current event, so now we're pretty much caught up, not gonna lie at this point, but I got a pretty fire flame, luck 132 all stat +4, so I'm pretty sure that's like a keep forever type of arcane flame, or at least until I get Eternals. So very happy about that. Out of 100 black flames, we can't really ask for more. And also very recently, I believe last week, I soloed BM for the first time, so that was pretty fire. I was practicing since the Shining Starforce gains that I got, which again, if you want to see that, feel free, link in the description. Yeah, we started trying to practice for a solo BM, and this run was actually really bad because I had practiced a decent amount, so I knew all the timings for when I should be in each phase, how long I should be, when my burst would be up at what time. But I forgot to pop G skills. You can see I don't have G skills this entire time until P4 40%. So I forgot to pop Gs until P4. So I did this basically all without G skills, which made it way harder, which ruined all of the timings for every single part. But I did end up getting it done, and I'm very happy. That was one I really wanted to solo. I did have a 500% drop as well. I had the 200% drop potion, but I did not get anything, unfortunately. So now we are caught up completely. This is where I'm currently at. I'm 281. 72%. I'm almost 282, getting there. Now I'm going to go over basically everything current, like all of my current, like my current CP, my current Hexa, my current inner abilities, all of the stuff that I'm doing right now, bossing, what I'm doing, what I'm planning on doing in the future, what I'm close to getting, all my plans for the future. We're going to go over all that right now. So with CP, as you can see, I'm 145.6, no fams, 159 with fams. The Legion Relay did just expire today, so I was like 165 mil with it. But now I'm like almost 160. I'm almost where I'm at when I first got it. I've made, I don't know how, but I've made like 5 mil in gains since then, CP wise, but I almost got it all back basically. My sack, I just upgraded it twice today. Actually, it's 430. Obviously, my arcane is maxed, but yeah, sack's maxed, or sack's 430, arcane's maxed, 159 mil. The bossing preset, the 3rd one that you just saw, was the Black Mage run. How I solo it, that's the preset I use. So if you ever want to do that, feel free. For the equips, you can just pause these if you want to see individually what they are, but everything's 22. Everything is also a fake 3-line or higher, so 27% or higher. As far as the WSE, I have attack boss on my secondary. My arcane weapon is attack all stat, and then my emblem is attack attack. I want that Mitra emblem, this freaking Saren one, so badly. It's gonna give me, I checked, it gives me like an 18 mil CP increase alone, so that's really fire. Also, these are the pitched I have right now. So I have the sup belt and the source. I have enough Gollux coins for a sup pendant, so I can do the transfer. I'm gonna do that on Shining. I will be streaming that. If you want to watch, feel free, stay tuned. It'll link in the description. It's Ebe. It's under my camera in every single video. ITSIBB. But yeah, I'm going to be tapping this pitch stuff probably on that event. This is looking at my Meso stuff, so like all my accessories. They're all like 17. I figure if I need to upgrade them to 21, I might just wait until if I get the pitch thing to 22, that'll probably just replace it. We'll see. Yeah, these are all my rings. I've gotten a couple of Roar 4s. I think I've gotten one more, but I just threw it out. So I have one that is equipped, and then I have 2 in my inventory. I'm saving one so I can have a Roar 4 and a Roar 5 when I get a Grindstone. As far as Lib, I cleared Will, and then I need the Crux for next month, which will be January's Crux. And then all I have to do left is Lucid and Vihila, and then I have it. So I believe March is my Lib date, which I'm very excited for. And I have, hopefully, I'm going for 3-line attack minimum. Ideally double prime, but I know that's very expensive. So ideally we just want 3-line attack. I'm probably, depending on how much money I have 111 bill right now. Depending on how much money I have, I'll probably won't settle on attack boss, but I want 3-line attack. I have 4 260s right now. I got 2 hyperburns from this one to 260, so it gives me 4 for the Legion Champ current coming up. I'm gonna make Legion Champ videos too, because these are the next like big thing in my mind, just because that's gonna take like years. I'm probably not gonna do anything N Kalos related, but even like H Saren mules, like that's pretty high up in terms of my character right now. I think it's possible in my Maple Scouter for me to do H Saren right now solo. That actually does lead me to what I'm gonna be doing and planning. So I have 9 out of 10 Kalos fragments, so I get my first Eternal piece this reset actually, which I will be able to use on the Shining, and I'm going to tap that on Shining, my first Eternal, so that's cool too. If you want to, feel free, come and watch that. I am going to work on soloing H Saren. I am soloing Black Mage now every month, starting like a week ago. But I'm going to work on soloing H Saren now. I have to practice that, and then N calling I'm going to do for the first time as well, either this week or next week. I'm at the same point in N calling as I was in E calling, where I'm starting it at like min clear. And I'm just going to be fighting for the blue dot, maybe green dot, depending on how strong my party is. I have already made a party, so I will be doing end calling every week, hopefully from this week or next week. So that's going to be cool to get 2 pieces for that as well. And that'll hyper speed up my progression as far as Eternals. So that's really good. But yeah, that's what we're looking for right now. We're just trying to do end calling, end calling and Kalos, so I can get Eternal taps as fast as possible, just chances at it. And then we're just soloing as many pitch bosses as possible. I'm going to try to start soloing Saren because I really want that emblem. But yeah, that's what we're looking like at the moment. As far as Legion goes, I did actually just hit 9k like 2 days ago. I'm like 910 or something now, but it's very passive at this point. You don't really work on Legion anymore. I'll eventually get to 9.5 when I do. When it comes to familiars, I do have 3 that I use. So I have 2 large heals, or 5 that I use technically. I have 2 large heals that I use for like Will, P2, and Hila the entire time. The main fams I use for everything else are, I have a 35% boss, I have a 3% attack, and then I have a 15% IED. This is my current Hexa, so I have 12 Origin, 27 Quintuple, 9 Bats, 20 Janus, 10 Spears, 17 GDS, 2 Bite, and then 10 Rapid Throw. Now we're going to look at Hexa stat. The second one did just come out. So for Hexa stat 2, I got 7 in my main stat. It is maxed. I got 7 in my main stat. I got 9 in the crit damage, and then 4 in the luck. I don't actually know if I'm supposed to switch the crit damage and luck one. If you do know that, feel free to let me know. For the second one, I got it to 10. So I wanted to get level 5 main stat, which I did. I got level 5 in only 10 out of 20, which I'm really happy about. So I'm 541 right now, and I'm gonna wait until Sunday so I can hopefully get like 8 to 10 main stat with that event. That would be really fire. If I got 10, that would be crazy. This is what my 7-month progression looks like. So I have the chair that actually tells you. You can see it's May 3rd is when I made the character, and this was the first character on this account. So it's been like 7.5 months, but yeah, this is where I'm at. Did enjoy, feel free to support the channel, like and sub. I will also be streaming the Shining. If you want to see any of my potential Shining gains, feel free to stop by. Link will be in the description. Thank you for watching.